All right. Dave is driving. Hi, Dave.
Hi.
You look good. You've got this
Do
orange
I?
wig on
Uh,
and these
Is
minion
that is it
glasses.
is that a good picture of me?
It's a fantastic picture of you.
Is is it a great picture? Does it make me look younger,
Um,
or does it make me look something else?
it makes you look like you raided Halloween Spirit the day after Halloween, and you stole
I
everything.
probably did. I probably did.
Yep. So
No, I'm sorry. I'm not in front of the camera with you tonight. I apologize.
it's okay.
I kind of got delayed, and so you got me on the drive.
I got you on the drive. You were doing tech stuff today.
I was doing tech stuff today. Yep,
We got
I do that from time to time.
from time to time. That's right. So we don't have any watchers yet, but we will at some point. You know, it's kind of
Listen,
interesting.
somebody will have lost a bet and had to tune in, when
Uh,
they were doing flip the coin or rock paper scissors, and the loser has to watch us for however long it is.
they're starting to roll in now. I think, well, because we started early, that's why.
We did start a little bit early.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that. Number one, you're driving, which we don't want you to have to like switch from the car to everything else, but you can at some point. I can always remove this wonderful picture of you. But the
Right,
Phillies are on tonight.
right.
We got, Major League Baseball
That's
playoffs.
right. That's it. Red October. There we go, baby.
This is it.
Red October.
But tonight's episode is about
Yes.
pricing and trying to find out how to figure out how to price your rentals. Um, and this is
That
what,
that's an That's a very interesting topic that we're touching on tonight because I've seen a lot of discussions lately about it, in photo booth community and, also the photo booth network. So it's something that comes up I want to say every couple of weeks, actually. So,
it's and yeah, and I was sharing something with you, which we're going to share with the viewers here in just a bit this morning,
yep.
before it blew up again today. So it's like coincidental or the irony
Yeah.
that there was a huge discussion about pricing today.
Well, I mean, not every market's the same, and not
Hmm.
every company and what you offer is the same as everybody else. So, you need to charge what fits your your market and your clientele.
Yeah,
You're going to base your pricing to the clients that you want to work with.
yeah.
Really.
Hey, we got viewer Aaron McPhail. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. We got another Facebook user here. Thank you. Says, "What up, dudes?" But yeah, you're right. It's all going to be everything's going to be different in every market. But there's something that doesn't change, and that is your operating costs, right? So
Correct. Well, those change too.
they
Those
can,
change
yeah,
too because you've got in California, price of gas, a gallon of gas is five, $4, $5, $6. Whereas New Jersey, it's $3 or
yeah.
three
It's three.
fifty.
Yeah,
So
it's actually more than Pennsylvania. It's like 380, 80, 90, 390 or something like that. I think somewhere around there. Um, Aaron asked me what's my go-to photo booth brand. Well, mine is right under my face there. It's Max Design. But before that, I had Your City photo booths, and I also did the original Ring Roamer. Those were the photo booths that I used. But
yep,
back to the pricing thing. So, you're right. Every market is different, and equipment pricing is different. Gas is different. Um, but I think that like the common thing that I see out there is, well, just do secret shop other people in your market, and I say yes in a sense because you kind of want to know what you're up against competitive wise, but
sure,
your
sure.
equipment is probably not the same as that other person's equipment, or how much time they spend doing what they do, or how much they spend on advertising, or how much they spend on things like insurance, if they have it, God
Yep.
forbid they have insurance. Um,
Please have insurance.
yeah, I mean, there's all types of other things that go into it. So that's what kind of brought you and I together this morning is an old calculator sheet that I actually got from a DJ group that was put out in 2017. I said, let me modify this and let's start
Right.
working on this together so that we can like share it with our audience and everybody else in the photo booth network and photo booth community, whoever wants it, especially those who are just starting out and don't have a business plan and don't know where to start out, to really
Right.
start thinking about what, as a business, how to be
Right.
profitable,
Yep.
right? Um,
But and that's the thing is a lot of people. There's some people that do this full time. There's some people that do this part time.
yeah,
As a side hustle, and you still want to be able to cover your costs. Yes, you may go home with a hundred or $200 at the end of the night, but how much did it cost you to make that $100 or $200?
yeah,
Before you got there and after you get there.
yeah. And you know
I
what?
mean,
And
if you're driving 2.5 hours each way
mhm.
to the event, and that $100 is now not quite as much as what it was.
Yeah, it really isn't. But there's also some folks, including myself. When I first started out, I just wanted to get it out there, so I took a
Yeah,
loss.
sure.
But
Yep.
after a while, you have to start looking at yourself and saying, okay, I did it for advertising, for a little bit of exposure to get some experience, but now the craft is building. It's just the way that I started out. It's time to start getting paid,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
Oh, we got somebody
Listen, I
from Minnesota here. Hey, Minnesota, you got your Twins playing. I hope they do well. But yeah, go ahead, Dave.
yeah. So it's interesting because um, when you're looking at your costs for different things, it varies so greatly.
Hmm.
But that effort that you're putting into this gives you an understanding when you look at this spreadsheet.
Yep.
Um, to kind of you might take a step back and say, you know, $100 I thought I was making, I'm not really making that much.
Yep.
I'm actually losing money.
Yeah.
Because some states you have to pay taxes. A lot, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's stuff that you want to check with your and a tax accountant in your state IRS, or not IRS, but your state
Yeah.
treasury. Um, because you may not. There's some states you don't have to pay sales tax on photo booths. Here in Pennsylvania, we do have to pay tax on that. So it's you've got to take that into account too. So
Absolutely. And this sheet that I put together that I'm going to share here in just a moment, so everybody can kind of see what we're starting with. I don't even have the taxes in there yet. So what I
right,
hope again is for people who watch this tomorrow, a couple of days from now, this is going to be an evolving sheet. And we want our industry leaders to chime in. We want our newbies to chime in. We would kind of like
right,
come together and help, put this sheet together. Because another thing is, yeah, you've got those companies that are just starting out, and it's okay. You're kind of like shortchanging yourself in the beginning, you get the free experience, the free advertising, the exposure. But if you do that for too long, at least in some
right.
markets, I do see that actually brings down the market pricing, and it kind of hurts those who've been there established for a while. And it goes without saying, not everybody's your customer, and not everybody has the budget to afford everything, right? And that's going to happen.
Listen, have I adjusted my prices because I didn't have anything booked for a weekend, and somebody called me and said, hey, we'd like to have a booth for a couple hours. Have I given them a good price? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to keep my staff working as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have availability and my staff wants to work it, and like this weekend, we're fully like we're way booked. And I took on an actual white label job also. So it's a matter of where do you want to be,
Yeah.
and this can help you gauge on, okay, do I do it by myself, or this is what I need to adjust to maybe pay somebody, or
Yeah.
to add staff.
Yep. And I really wish you could
You
see
know,
this. And Dave, you looked at this morning. I know you've been busy all day working with
Mhm.
servers. At some point, um, take a look at this sheet again, and we'll need some feedback. But I'm kind of giving a peek now. I'm gonna go to full screen on this. Again, this is
Yeah, go
just
to full
a
screen.
start. I'm gonna run
Sure.
down from top to bottom some of the things that need to be taken into consideration when understanding what your costs are for your photo booth business. Again, I'm probably leaving out a ton of stuff in here, and this is where I'm going to rely on everybody else to chime back in either now or tomorrow, whenever, by commenting on this post or commenting on the video on YouTube or reaching out to us individually. But the first thing is like, the rental cost percentage of gear to value. And essentially what it is the amount of money that you spend on your gear is going to, you got to have come up with some kind of percentage of that you're going to add to your cost for that event. Um,
Mhm.
this sheet had the
Because because
3.33%.
equipment doesn't last forever.
Yeah. So you've got to like kind of bank that money to replace it. A new printer, a new iPad, or a new computer, or new lights, or whatever component that you have. This little percentage I have here, if you can see it, is 3.33%. That's saying
Right.
3.33% of your gear is kind of being allocated on this event to hopefully like get your money back, but then also set you up to replace it if anything fails or breaks in the future,
Right.
right? The next line you have to consider is, well, how much are you paying? How much are you paying yourself per hour, or how much are you
Mhm.
paying your attendants per hour? Or if there's an assistant, how much is that assistant being paid per hour? I put $33 per hour because that's on average. Sometimes what my guys are getting paid. Like sometimes it's higher,
Right.
sometimes it's a little bit lower. It all depends upon the level of effort for the event, their
Mhm.
experience. But I just kind of put a median price there. Some people are going to look at that and say, whoa, you're not paying him enough. When some people are saying, wait, you're paying too much. Like I said, it's a business. Minimum wage is what, 15 bucks, 16 bucks? I don't know what it is these days. I have no idea. But I know McDonald's is
Yeah.
paying 15 or
Yeah.
16 bucks. So I'm double that. So I'm, I'm,
Yep.
I'm happy.
Yep.
Um, and then there's advertising. And some people say, well, I don't spend any money on advertising. Well, you
Yeah. Business cards, because business cards is advertising.
websites.
You know, website.
Yep. Hustle with
Um,
Drew is on.
you know.
Hey, Drew. Good to see you. Websites cost money.
Right.
Stickers, Google, you pay an SEO guy, any of that. The
Mhm.
Knot,
Yep.
Yelp, Bark, all of that. T-shirts. Yeah, somebody said
Yep.
T-shirts.
Well, I mean, I have, like when I do bridal shows, I do like little mustaches on like
Oh, that's
sticks
cool.
that I give out. That I give out. I mean, I consider that as part of my promotional stuff. And sometimes I take them with me to jobs, and I'll give them to like the little kids,
Yeah.
so they have something fun to run around the room with for the night.
Yeah. We got Drew. Drew's been chiming on this. He's done a bunch of videos on pricing over the last month or so. Drew, I'm going
Yep.
to reach out to you, see if you want to come back on the show, and we'll talk about pricing again. Just give me a thumbs up or hit me up DM. I want to get you back on because Drew's been talking about it a lot too. But you're right. T-shirts,
Yep.
your little mustaches, the cost of attending a
Hmm.
bridal show,
Yep.
right? You're spending something on advertising. And if you're not spending any
Yeah.
money on that in advertising, somebody asked earlier, well, how do I get business? Well, that's how you get business. You got to advertise in some way, shape, or form,
Yep.
right? Let's go on down the line. So that's advertising software, right? So we
Yep.
spend money on whether it be Darkroom, whether it be Curator, whether it be Breeze, whether it be Snappic, whatever software you're using, even like SmugMug or an account for your what's the sharing the
What? what's that? Oh, well, SmugMug I use for sharing.
Yeah,
Snap, I use
the drive.
yeah,
What's a OneDrive or whatever it is? You know, you've got
OneDrive. Yeah,
software,
I mean, yep.
TurboTax,
Dropbox,
Dropbox. Yeah,
TurboTax.
any of these, right? Oh,
Yep.
Drew says yes, he's down. So we're gonna have Drew back on the show.
Good.
Um, so, but yeah, all the software that's going to cost something here.
Right.
Let's go to the next thing. So you get other miscellaneous operating expenses. Whether it be, I don't know, paper for the printer, and I'm talking about in the
Or the
office
printer
too.
itself.
Yeah, that's
Office supply.
media. I had that down as media, down in the lower
Right.
column. Yes, that does cost money. Then part of this calculation is you got to take about how many gigs on average you're doing per year, because that's going to help you with your calculation of dividing up the cost
Mhm.
of this equipment and all these different things. And you'll see that later on down.
Yep.
Then there's the miles per gallon of your vehicle. How many miles do you get on your vehicle? And I put 17. I've got, not a bad vehicle. That's going to be
Mhm.
calculated in my vehicle expense. That's going to
Yep.
understand like the wear and tear on my car. The value of my vehicle is actually right now it's an older car. It's a 2011 Dodge Grand Caravan. I looked at the blue book. It's about 12,000 in
Mhm.
the shape that it's in, so I put that in there, and that's going to be depreciation of that vehicle over time is going to be calculated in here. Your yearly maintenance of the
Right.
vehicle, oil changes. Um, I just spent I just spent like $1,500 over the last 2 months on repairs of my vehicle, so that kind of goes into it, and that's all I use that
Yep.
car for. I only use it for that, and maybe going to the groceries, but that's it. Um,
Right.
Total miles driven per year, I probably do about 2,000 miles a year. Right, so that's calculated in there. Expected lifetime of the
Right.
vehicle miles. Some people would argue I can get a 200,000 miles out of my Dodge Grand Caravan, but I put 150,000 to be safe, and that's coming toward the end of that. I've got like another 15,000 miles before I'm
I'm I'm
worried.
at 195,000 on um my town and country, a
Yeah,
2012 town and country
yeah.
that I use.
And I bet you there's some people watching this like, oh, this is boring. It's like it's boring, but this is business. You have to take a look at the stuff even before you start thinking about what the other guy's charging, because you have to know what your operating costs are first, then match that up with what everybody else is charging, that are comparable in your area
Yep.
with the same services, and you'll be able to tell right away if they're going to be out of business in a year, right? If
Right.
they're charging 450 for a wedding for 4 hours, that's not sustainable. That is not
Right.
sustainable. I don't care where you are in the country. That's not a business. That's like charity at that point. You might as well go do an event for a ham sandwich. It's like, to be honest with you, um, uh, total miles, and then you start getting to like, you plug in the event time, like how many hours that you work in the event, the setup time that's going to take you, and tear down time, and that's just. And I put lighting because I do add some lighting to these events, and I'm talking about not just picture lighting. I do ambience lighting, and I put 15 minutes of time into that. Um, the number of hours that I'm spending in meetings, the number of hour I'm like designing the templates, on average per event. And sometimes it's quicker than others. Sometimes I got a real difficult template that I've got to design, and it's going to take me 2 or 3 iterations. So that takes up an hour, or one I've gotten done in 5 minutes. So on average, I would say about an hour. So anyway, there's all these different um, there's all these different ones that are considered in this. And I got Dave is not on. Hold on, Dave. Did we lose you? Hold on. Dial in again, Dave. Um, but let's take a look at some of these people that were there. Got some comments here. We've got there he is. There's Dave. He's in the green room. No, we lost Dave. Let's see. Plan to fail. Let's see here. Someone said either spend money on advertising or spending time. Best places to be is to do both. Uh, no charity, not even for a cheesesteak sandwich. That's somebody from my area. That's got to be Johnny V. That's got to be you. I'm just going to take a wild guess. But anyway, folks, while we wait for Dave to get back on, um, there's other things on the sheet that I'm showing here that are very important to take into consideration, and that is not just these variables. Then there's your equipment. You've got to take a look at how much did your photo booth cost, how much did your printer cost, your backdrop, your uplights, your props, your prop table, your paper, your insurance. All this adds up. So for a 4 hour event on these variables, really my costs are 590.66. All right. So think about that. So let's just think about that for a second. Wait for Dave to come back in. Um, $590.66 are my costs based on those variables for a 4 hour wedding that is going to take me an hour and a half to set up. Hey, wait a minute. We're back. You there?
I'm here.
Dave, welcome home. I'm glad you got home safe. I was just going over like after all the calculations, and let me share the screen. I'll do a two-person share here. Let me get this is the picture, by the way, that we were showing you.
Right.
All right, right here, all these calculations, and these are just like the bare bones stuff for a 4 hour wedding. Right here's my event and times and hours, and again, my math might be a little bit off, and it's pretty darn close. With an hour and a half of setup and teardown, and I added 15 minutes for my ambient lighting that I do. Um, a half hour in a meeting, because usually my meetings with these clients don't take that long. It's pretty straight. I've been pretty efficient. And planning, designing on average about an hour between the backdrops and the design of the templates and any overlays I've got to do and any animations. $590.66 when it's all said and done is what my cost is for a 4 hour wedding.
Right.
All right. That's just my cost. So now I've got to make a profit. And I haven't even taken taxes out of this yet. So do you guys see where we're going with this in terms of like figuring out what you should be pricing your stuff at? Does this add up, Dave? Does this make sense to you?
It, it does. And what everybody just needs to realize is, you know, what we're coming up with
Hmm.
numbers, yours are going to be different. Yours
Yep.
might be more, yours might
Hmm.
be a little less for certain things.
Yeah.
But what we want to try and do is get everybody to understand that these are some things that you should just be aware of because you're operating a business. You're
Yeah.
not operating a charity. You're there to make money, and the object, if you're not in it to make money, then you might as well sell your equipment
Yeah.
and get out of it.
Yeah. And the other option is to find efficiencies in your business, like try to chip away at those hours. Um,
Sure.
maybe you're not spending as much on a photo booth equipment. Um, certain things that you can work on. Maybe take events that aren't far away. And again, you can have leeway with some of these events where you're going to lose money, but then over time you're gaining that money back with repeat business from a client. So you're kind of taking losses here and there for the long term. So there's different ways to look at it. So we get it from everybody's perspective, but we hope that this kind of opens everybody's eyes who didn't think about these things before. And I've
And
been guilty of it. Like I didn't think about it for the longest time, and over the last year or so is when I really started like being more vigilant about it and started thinking, I need to see my bank account grow.
right. Well, that's it. I mean, it's fun, and a lot of people do it because you enjoy doing it, and
Yeah.
hopefully that's you do enjoy doing it.
Hmm.
Because if you don't enjoy doing it, then you shouldn't be doing it. You should always be doing something that you love in life.
Yeah.
If you absolutely dread doing a photo booth, then sell your equipment and find something that makes you happy.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta have fun, right? And that is the key to have fun doing
Yeah.
it.
Well,
All right. So.
and same thing with your staff.
Mhm.
If you have miserable people, staff wise, that your customers aren't going to enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
And that's like I go back to. you're creating an experience. You're creating memories. You're creating a moment in a snapshot in someone's life. A bride and groom's wedding, a a person's birthday or bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. You're capturing that time in life
Yep.
that will be with them forever.
Hmm.
And, anytime you get caught in a picture, you should always be smiling.
Yep. As best as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Except for when you
not
have
every not every
that little
event's
kid.
not every event's going to
Except
be
when you have that,
rosy.
right. Well, and that's what I was saying is, except when you have that little 2-year-old kid running around trying to take the props off your table and run away with them.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this sheet as is, and I want people to download this and use it. So I'm going to put it on the Photo Booth Magazine website as a free download,
Yep.
and we'll link to it from the Photo Booth Network. We'll link to it from Photo Booth Magazine, Photo Booth Community. We'll send it out to everywhere. And we want people to use this. We want people to chime in, help us, because really this is going to be a group effort, right? This is just a starting point. And hopefully people like the way it is and use it. And, that betters them in the long run. And maybe I'm going to learn something out of this too. Maybe somebody's going to come up with a
Sure.
different formula or something cool. And that's what it's about.
Listen, it's a work in progress,
Hmm.
and we're all here to work and help each other with it, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers the pricing. I really, I wish I could have given a lot more juicy things for all you guys out there in terms of pricing. It's always going to be something that evolves and changes. We have inflation, we have a lot of different variables, but that's a good start. You know, look at the sheet, understand your costs, understand your market,
Right.
um, and know when you can take hits and when you should start taking opportunity too. And that's something that only you can um, to answer yourself as a business owner. Um, I could link it in the chat, but I'm a dummy. I'm gonna make you guys hunt for it on the website. I'm gonna make you
Right.
work. um, let's talk. Let's shift talk a little bit. Somebody else wanted to know on one of the groups when I posted about this. They said, "Well, I'm new in the business, and I don't want to know about pricing. I want to know about how to get more business." And that's fair. That's a fair question. They're not interested in
Sure.
pricing right now.
Hmm.
Getting more business. I'm going to start with one, um, and then we can ping pong back and forth. The first thing I think to get more business is to get an event on your business as under your belt as a new business. Just get an event, whether you're giving it away for free. You need to have somebody see your services because that's going to help you with word of mouth as long as you do well. Your thoughts, Dave?
Okay. I'm going to go a little bit back before that. I
Okay.
think what you need to do is get pictures from an event
Yeah,
that
your own
you
event.
that you have done, your own event. And it doesn't have to be, it could just be you set it up and you invite some friends over
Mm.
and you have fun using your photo booth
Yeah.
and capture it. Take some video, put it up on social media, take pictures and post them up on your social media. Well, first off, create social media because you need to have a place that people can see your stuff.
Yep.
So when
A,
you
a business page.
are looking at when you're looking at starting, and you're creating your web page and your business name and all that, you want to create your social media accounts around that same time.
Mhm.
And you want to start, even if you don't have pictures, start a buzz. You know, put hey, we've got this new thing coming. It's the newest thing to our area. Um, you know, wait till you see what we have coming. Put a countdown out there. Something that draws people in, and then when you get your equipment, you set it up, you take some pictures, and people can see it. Oh, this is what he's been talking about for the past
Yeah.
3 4 weeks. That's really cool.
Hmm.
So you've already created the hype and the buzz ahead of, and you can do this all before you have your
Yeah.
your your one piece of equipment. You can this is and it's free.
Yeah. And
And you know what? It might start with just one person seeing it, but
mhm.
it might catch on, and you never know.
Yeah, because you've got some kind of social media presence, even just as a person, not in the business. People are looking; they're going to see your stuff put up the feed, and if you've never been in the business before and you just bought your photo booth from any one of the companies and you're excited about it, then you're posting videos like, "Look what I just bought! I can't wait to get my new business started." Right there, you're organically spreading the word and awareness to your immediate circle of friends on those social media networks. So that's where a good way to start. Plus, um, you're getting a feel by even the likes and stuff like that of who might be watching your social
Right?
media and who to continue to keep your eyes out for who might want to hire you or even to invite over to that party that you're going to do your
Yeah,
first free party at your house or whatever it is. Okay, I like
yeah.
that, Dave.
Or or
Uh,
or even if you're getting ready to do the party, you
yeah.
know, post it. Okay, on October 14th. We've
Hmm.
got this amazing thing that we're going to be sending out invites. You definitely want to be one of the people that gets an invite to this event.
Yeah.
Create that hype, create that buzz. People are like, oh wait, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
I want to be in the cool crowd.
My
So
first one was my first ever photo booth experience that I ever did was actually at a bar, and this is before iPad photo booths took off, believe it or not. And I shared that a while ago. It was like this
mhm,
jerry rigged like kind of like setup that I did with I can't even remember it was like the first photo booth app, and I didn't even realize what I was doing when I did it that like this was going to be a big thing. Um,
right.
Nobody cared, right? But then I got a real photo booth, and my first event was a free event at a bar. I just said
Hmm.
I approached the bar and I said, "Look, I need to work out some kinks on this thing. I want to get some exposure. So where do a lot of potential clients go? They go out to drink, you know. It was during like
Yep.
happy hour. So I set this thing up. I got 3 events out of it. My very first event was an exposure one at a bar, and that's how things started to roll from there. So that's
Right.
something you can do too. Find a local bar that has some space. Do it during a happy hour because you're going to have corporate
Hmm.
owner or corporate people there. You're going to have people who are getting engaged. You're going to have maybe some older people that are having their kids' sweet 16s, their graduation
Hmm.
parties. They might be a PTO mom that can get you in front of the school. So that's really good exposure, I think, for someone starting out.
So the other thing, because I've done many bars with the booze,
Hmm.
and what I did is I reached out to the bar and said, hey, if you'd like to promote one of your alcohols, like Tito's vodka, I did
Hmm.
quite a few events for Tito's vodka, throughout Delaware, um, just by doing a couple bars, and then and the bar would go to their alcohol supplier and say, hey, we want to promote your product for the night, and actually the alcohol company paid
Yeah.
for my fee for that night
Yeah.
for them. So it was a win-win. I got paid. They got a photo booth that was kick ass, and people were loving it.
Then it
Um,
has their logos and branding all over the photos. So that's like advertising
everything.
for them. It's getting spread on social media because people get their photo.
Yep.
They're either taking the digital one and sharing that out, or they're taking a picture of this photo that has Budweiser, Tranquility Brewery, whatever the name of the alcohol, Tito's
Yep.
vodka. That's
Hmm.
advertising costs for them.
Well, and the other thing you got to remember is we also have um, sporting events that are coming up in the major
Mhm.
cities.
Yep.
So you know, hit up a sports bar, um, for something like that. Hey, the Phillies are going to be playing. I've done many events at Xfinity Live down in
Hmm.
right across from the stadium. You know, and I've been there for Eagles games. I've been there for Phillies games. for Flyers games and for Sixers games.
Hmm. All right. So sporting events and bars.
Yeah.
So after we've done these kind of exposure type of partnerships and whatnot, then there's people ask, and I get asked all the time. So I'm a Google Ads expert. I mean, like we're gonna talk an expert. Like I'm going to Google next week, Google headquarters. I've been doing Google for a very long time. I get a lot of people asking me to help them with their stuff, and some of the people, uh, the business owners, they're just starting out. They're not ready yet. Some of these,
Are you shooting the interns too?
am I shooting the interns too? I will never wear a beanie.
Okay,
Well, listen
just checking.
in a photo
Just
booth.
wanted to make sure you caught on to that one.
Yeah, I got it. But no, so don't spend money on Google right away. I think you need to start with the organic stuff that we're talking about, right, Dave? Getting some buzz
Mhm.
that's free, in a sense. I mean, you
Yep.
still have operating costs and like that, but getting a website, right? I think that's more important, and a website that looks good, not something that looks like it did in 1998. Like it's got to have good imagery on there, not just a bunch of big fat text with all these different fonts. And we should probably have a whole episode on just that alone, is like websites and what they should look like, because I've seen some really horrible ones. But anyway, these people come and they say, I want to run a Google Ads campaign. And I said, well, let me take, do you have a website yet? They're like, no. I'm like, well, why would you want a Google Ads campaign and you haven't even taken into consideration what your landing pages look like, what your website looks like? Because you've got to convert these people. You can't just drive
Where
traffic.
where where are the people going to go after you get them off of Google? Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
What you know?
And you got to sell them, right?
Yep.
And I've seen some sites that don't have good images. It just looks very bland. And look, you're in the
Mhm.
photo booth business. This is an image type of business. And so your
Yep.
website needs to reflect that same bouginess, right? Is that even a word? This flash, this a sense of excitement when they come to your website. Because no matter how many people who are looking for a photo booth rental you send to a website, if they don't like what they see, they're going to leave. They're not. It's going to be very difficult to convert these people. So you're going to have wasted money on Google Ads.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is people, everybody hears, um, oh, you got to do Google, you got to do this, you got to do that. Now, you need to start with a website,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
should. So, and some people do well with just Facebook or Instagram. There are some
Hmm.
success stories with that.
Absolutely.
Um, but if you want to take a look at it, this is a term you'll hear me say a lot. Is in the investment world, there's a well diversified portfolio, investment portfolio. There's the same thing in marketing. It's called a well diversified marketing portfolio. And that's having a little
Hmm.
bit of social, a little bit of SEO, a little bit of paid, a little bit of, um, you know, elbow rubbing or referral business, a little bit of everything. And you can't do it all at once,
Right.
but you pick and choose things and you start working, chip away at it. And eventually you have a nice, well diversified portfolio when it comes to your marketing.
Well, and that's what it's about is
Yeah.
being diverse,
Yeah.
you know, and having options.
Yeah.
I offer multiple types of services.
Mm-hmm.
I have my DJ business also. But my photo booth and my DJ business, if you go to the website, are completely separate. There's links to get to each other's pages,
Yeah.
but for the most part, they're completely separate. Then now there's a lot of DJ companies that offer photo booths that, that's a page
Yeah. That would be
their
me.
website.
Yeah.
You know, I've just chosen to kind of keep those businesses separate because of, well, for tax reasons, it's
Mhm.
easier to
Yeah.
keep the account for the one and the account for the other separate because one I have to pay sales tax on, the other one I don't have to pay sales tax on. So,
Yep. Yeah. It's not
you know,
easy. It's tough to figure out.
yeah, yep,
Yeah. Okay. And I'm starting to think about that myself. Primarily started out DJ, then added the photo booth on. I just do so many events that are both at the same time. Um, it's hard to
but
make that
but
switch.
but see, I had that set up that
Yeah, you do.
okay, the DJ company pays the photo booth company,
Mm-hmm.
And if it's the other way around that the photo
Right.
booth company gets the booking for and adds on the DJ,
Mm-hmm.
they pay back and forth. So
Yep.
that money stream is going into those separate accounts
Mm-hmm.
to be able to be tracked a
Yep.
lot easier.
All right. So, other ways of marketing. And if anybody watching, which we've got a nice little group of people here, has something
We
special that's,
do,
yeah, we do. That's special. Feel free to chime in. Going back to a website, that's very important. The other thing is you got to drive people to the website. I talked about Google Ads, and then there's SEO, and that's the stuff that's organic under the Google Ads part. The most
right?
crucial one is the maps. That the map section, and I said this on previous episodes, is so crucial because it's just so much traffic comes from that map section. If you guys don't know what that means, what that is, let me just do a quick search here. So, photo booth rental. I'm just going to type in photo booth rental on Google, and I'm going to share my screen. And let's go down here. I'm going to
Feel
do
like we're the explorer. Maps, 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 maps.
right. I love Dora the Explorer. Is that what you just said, Dora the Explorer? Okay. Let me share. All right. For those who don't know what Maps is, you have these are where the ads show up. All right. At the very top, it says sponsored. The people are paying to be there. I'm not paying because right now I don't need to pay because I have so much referral business coming in. I don't need to pay. So I'm not. I don't have my Google Ads running right now. Then there's something else called BARD, which is the generative AI experimental part, which is essentially pulling in the map section. Look where I am. I'm number one. Okay. And there's a reason behind that. There's a lot of different things that go into ranking, but a lot of traffic comes from this section here, and then it duplicates again down here. So here I am again.
Right,
Um, so much traffic comes to here. You need to have a Google Business Profile. This is free, and it's like SEO, it takes some time to work on and rank. You've got to make sure you're in the right category. You have to make sure you're pulling in reviews. It is preferred that you do show your address for those who are curious about that. And the photo booth category itself, if you choose to pick the photo booth category, you have to show your address. And if you don't want to show your address right now, Google won't allow you to pick the photo booth category, which puts you at a disadvantage. So it's kind of a bad thing. And I'm going to talk to Google about that next Wednesday, and ask them why that is and see if they can do anything about it because a lot of people don't want to show their address. But work on this, Google My Business section, which you've done, Dave. And you're in
right.
where are you located again? Douglasville?
Douglasville, yeah, just outside of Philadelphia.
And let's see where you rank. I smell you're number one.
Yeah.
Right? And
Well,
it's
I
not
mean, I
because
know I'm number one,
you're always
but
been number
that's a
one.
whole.
And you're above somebody who's got 18, 70 reviews.
What's that?
You're above somebody who has 70 reviews and somebody who has 50 reviews.
Right.
Pretty darn good.
Well, and so this is the thing: is I incentivize people to leave a review, good, bad, or indifferent.
Hmm.
Um, I actually give them uh, a gift card for a discount for next time they book. So, um,
That's cool.
that, yeah,
Yep.
and that's just to leave the review. I
Hmm.
mean, I've had some that I didn't get 5 stars on everything. I got like a 4.5 or a 4. And I mean, the lady liked the service. She just didn't like our communications up before the event. You know, So, and that was something that, I asked her for, listen, what can I do better?
Yeah. No, that's good. Feedback is so important. And even if you don't do a great job, like 100%, the honest conversation back and forth, you sometimes get a second chance with that customer. You're like, this person
Right,
is legitimate. They're real. I'm going to book them again and give them a second chance. And again, it's a potential more referrals out of it that way.
right.
Someone just chimed in and says you can pick an area. This is going back to Google Maps. You can pick an area and have Google verify your business by sending them a video. I haven't been through that yet, so I'd be interested to find that out because the only experience I've had with Google Maps is that in order to have photo booth as your category, you had to show your address. So if that is the
Hmm.
case, you can have them send a video. That's great because there are some people that don't want their address to be shown because they don't want people showing up to their house, whether it be for they don't want to get robbed. Probably is the biggest thing. So, but you show your address, don't you, Dave? Yeah, you show yours, and I
Uh-huh, I
know
do.
that. Yeah, and I wonder. Let's take a look back at this again because there are ranking factors. I'm wondering if it's because you show your address
Right.
that might be giving you a leg
Possibly.
up,
That
right?
it's possible.
Yeah, because these guys don't have. Let's see here. We have to investigate this a little more, but yeah, your photographer is your main category. Party equipment and rental service. Party equipment and rental service. So the primary, you can pick primary categories. The primary category isn't photographer, it's party equipment and rental service. And it's probably because they didn't know.
Right.
Yeah, this just says Harleysville, but you have your actual address. That's probably why. So again, I personally think that showing your address is a ranking factor. I think
Yep.
that helps. So, but anyway, there you go, folks. There's a few things. Uh, we've got Ed Altunian chiming in. He wrote us a book. I'll read it out for you, Ed. So hard to get people to do reviews. My last three events were all raving about me and saying they were going to leave me a review. My email, thank you, and reminder to review goes out 7 days after and nothing. Ed?
Mine goes out the night of the event.
Mm-hmm.
I have my review system set up that it goes out the night at like around midnight after
Mm-hmm.
the event. It
Yep.
goes out, and then I send a reminder 2 days later, just in case,
Yeah.
because you know you want to get it while it's fresh in your customers' heads.
Yes.
So, and like I said, I the first one that goes out was, hey, I want to thank you so much. We really enjoyed doing the event for you, blah blah blah. And then the one that I send out a couple days later, hey, I hope you haven't forgot about us. If you could just take a few moments to leave a review. Here's and include the links in the email.
Uh-huh.
So all they have to do is click it and leave the review.
Yeah. We discussed
You
this
know.
before, I think on another
Yep.
episode. We had this
Yep.
discussion. And I also chimed in with a different strategy, which is texting the review
Right.
request. I think both are good. Your email cadence that you have, um, which I do sometimes. I don't do it as much. I should. So you say you do one the night of, and how many days after?
2 days after,
2 days after. Okay.
because the night of, if they don't do it the night of, a couple days after, they're normally like sitting at the airport if they're going on a honeymoon or something like that.
Hmm.
And they're looking at their phone and they're like, oh, well, I'm sitting here, I got time to kill. Um, let me go on and leave Dave a review.
Yeah.
So,
You want to know who's killing it,
what's
reviews
that?
wise? Who we had him on last week.
Oh, Shane?
You want to know how many reviews he's got?
Yeah.
656 reviews. Look at that.
Yeah, but he creates all his extra, Gmail accounts to get all those. So, they really don't count.
I,
Shane, I'm only kidding, my friend. I'm only teasing.
let's
He
take a look.
he he has amazing staff.
Yeah, I mean, and these are like really good reviews. Shane, you're doing
Yeah.
amazing. Then you need to write a book on this because you're crushing it, man. He is completely crushing it. And these are like
Yep.
amazing. All 5 stars. I
Yep.
think he had a football player on here. I can't remember what the football player was. Yeah, I was looking at him.
Yep.
Somebody from the Giants, I think, actually reviewed him too. I mean, he's getting like celebrities reviewing
Right.
him. freaking amazing. Anyway, we'll have to have Shane give us his secret sauce. Maybe he'll we can pay him enough to do it because it's worth it. I mean, that's a lot. 688. Now, I will say that when you get to 688, um, or 600, however many it is, forgive me, Shane, for getting the wrong number. But that's not really a big ranking factor at that point. That's more of, who's
That's just rubbing it in. That's all. That's
it,
all it really is.
it's, well, it shows if somebody's like higher end and wants to know,
Yeah.
that's going to help with that.
Yep.
That's going to help with someone who's really adamant about, you know, a company
Yep.
that's super experienced, right? So
Well, and it shows a level of trust too,
it
and that
does.
goes back to if you're starting a business, getting those reviews are really critical when you're starting your business. You
Yeah,
know, and having people that were at one of your events, you know, having them also leave reviews.
yeah,
You know, hey, I was at Mary's photo booth, you know, party, and oh my God, we had so much fun.
hmm, yep.
It doesn't cost anybody to leave a review.
No, but it costs us time and energy to get one of those reviews from those people. It's so difficult.
Correct. Correct.
So I like your gift card idea. I think that's good. You're not technically not supposed to do that, but you know,
Well, I'm just asking them for the review. I'm not asking them for a positive review.
okay, that's legit.
You know, I'm just compensating them for their time. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay, and then there's something else I want to make sure that people who are watching this now or later, especially with reviews, and I deal with this a lot. Um, with some companies that have cheated in the past. You can get your listing taken down for abusing the reviews. So do not pay for fake reviews like from like Fiverr or some of these other countries. They track down IP addresses, they track down VPNs. They do have a review team. They're a little slow, so it may not happen immediately, but it doesn't take much to have your listing taken down. And what I said, when you get a lot of business off of your Google Business Profile, if you cut off that lifeline, that's cutting the lifeline off of your business. So try not to get caught and just try not to
Right.
cheat on Google business profiles and getting reviews. Very important not to do that.
Well, and there's other things too, like for your website, you know, getting backlinks is an important thing
Helpful.
too, where,
Yeah.
you know, where, you know, you partner up with a DJ or another photo booth company or, you
Photographer.
know, a venue photographer, and, you know, they have a link on their website, you have a link, they have a link to you from their website, you have a link to them on your website. That helps create
Leads.
buzz
Yeah.
for, for Google.
Yeah. It's leads and also like you said, buzz. I mean, Google does look at
Mhm.
as part of the ranking factor SEO wise. They
Yep.
will look at that. So no, this is all great points. Um, But yeah, so there, folks. There's you asked, and that's all we tell you guys to do. If you have questions you want us to talk about or topics on the show, just start mentioning stuff. And that came from a Facebook post today. Somebody wanted us to talk about it, so there we talked about it.
Right.
So hopefully they
And
got
by the
something.
way, it's 3-0, Philadelphia. Just so you know.
Yay! So hey, let's go watch the game.
All right. I think we've helped
Yeah.
people enough tonight.
Yep.
I think next week, if I'm not mistaken, we have Snap Pick.
That's
I think that
awesome.
was next week.
That's awesome.
So
I can't wait. I want to see
yeah,
what they got coming up. I haven't had the
yeah,
chance to utilize SnapPick that much, to be honest with you. I just haven't.
right,
So I'm looking forward to that because I do. Again, I'm not the expert, right? I'm trying to just learn as we go. This is beneficial to me as well. I'm having a blast
yep,
doing it with you, Dave. Um, and I want to get better personally at utilizing all the different softwares out there. So this is great. I'm glad we're going to have SnapPick on next week.
yep.
And who's from
So
SnapPick is coming on?
I'm not sure who they're going to send, but I did reach out to. I have to look. I want to say. Is it Julio?
Say Julio.
I think so. Yeah.
Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. Every once in a while, I'll sing on the show. Not too often. After all, you can blame karaoke for me getting started in all of this. So, oh, speaking of which, the I got to get my tickets for the Photo Booth Expo, and apparently there's a karaoke outing or something like that. So, can't remember which episode
Yeah.
we are. Was it Min?
There was. Yeah.
Okay, all
Min
right.
did one
Min, I'm in.
last year.
I went in on the karaoke. I'm a junkie.
Yep. Well, and funny you just mentioned that my event for Friday is a rehearsal dinner for a wedding.
Uh huh.
Now I'm not DJing the wedding. I'm just doing
Right.
the rehearsal dinner, but we're doing karaoke because the bride's fiance loves to go out and sing karaoke. She doesn't go to the bar with him to sing karaoke. So
Well,
hopefully he does go to the bar and sing karaoke because if not, it's going to be very awkward that
I
night.
I think she's letting him do it because it's probably the last time he's ever going to be allowed to do it. Right after he signs that, what we call contract of an
Uh huh.
obligation to marriage, it's
Right.
over. No more karaoke.
Yep. That's true. It could be it's probably his last hurrah.
I'm lucky because I met my wife at a karaoke contest, so we both love karaoke.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. I was actually the person who ran the contest, and she was a contestant.
Okay.
But I waited until
Oh,
she got voted out before I asked her out. I wasn't the
gotcha.
guy that was like creeping up and saying, "Hey, you'll get to the next round if you go out with me."
Wink, wink.
No, I waited. I was very polite and waited. So um, anyway, all right. So next week, Julio.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. All right, folks, you heard it here. Dave's got Julio coming on next week with Snap Pick. Thank you so much. Again, um, by tomorrow morning, it's late. I'm going to go watch the Phillies game. I'm going to put a link to that calculator, and that is this calculator sheet that I'm going to show right here. Is it? Yeah, that's it. So this it's a working. You can down you'll be able to download the sheet and edit it at your pleasure to fit your needs. Any feedback you guys want to give us is greatly appreciated. This is a growing document that we want to help, not only for ourselves, but also for you guys out there. So we'll see you next week. Right, Dave?
Next week, right here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Good day. Have a good one.